What's up, guys? Welcome back to Corvette Weekly. This is our 47th episode. We're back here with the entire gang. Steve is back from his cruise, so yeah, he's back here to inappropriately bring up political things again. So thank God.
Yeah.
But for real, guys, 47 weeks. We are 47 weeks into this, and yeah, I think this is awesome. I'm hoping you guys are liking it as much as I am, because we are in general having a blast doing this, and yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying it as much as we are. But with all that said, we have a couple of pieces of news to cover today. We have a bunch of questions that you guys have brought up. So if you are not watching the community tab on my Horsepower Obsessed YouTube channel, I will post a question on there every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday that asks you what you would like to see us talk about on the Monday Night Live. So any of your valid concerns about your Corvette, your generation, your specific build, you can put in the YouTube community tab and we will get to them. Now, obviously we only have this run for about an hour, so we're not going to be able to answer 100 questions, but we're going to get to as many as we possibly can. So if we don't get your question one week, just ask the same question again the following week. We will get to it eventually. When I say any questions can go on there, for the most part, I'm serious. There is a question that's going to come up tonight that is going to surprise even Jason and Steve, because I'm sure they didn't see it. And it has nothing to do with Corvettes, but it's going to be something that I feel we have to mention, we have to talk about, because the guy was very adamant that he wanted it answered. So, yeah. How's everybody doing? I'm seeing a lot of the same names over here. Vet Father.
Chat's pretty active tonight.
It is, yeah. It's moving. HPO chat comment of the week gets a new C8 Z06 with Z07 package, carbon fiber wheels, 3LZ. I don't know who's funding that one, Luke, but certainly not me. Speaking of that, check out the shirt, guys. It's a Corvette Z06 shirt. This is not something that Vet Syndicate sells, but this is something that a friend of mine sent me. So I will put the link for these in the description down below if you're interested. I actually don't have it on me right this second, but if you want a Corvette Z06 shirt, it's kind of cool. Check it out. With that said, we're probably going to be giving away a shirt tonight. Not this one, but I'm going to actually I'm going to remember to actually talk about this. This shirt will be given away tonight. We're going to talk about a little bit of Corvette trivia. So I'm going to ask a question at some point tonight, and whoever gets it right gets that shirt for free. So be on the lookout for that, guys. We're going to start introducing some Corvette trivia, some things that only the ones in the know are going to be able to figure out. So yeah, Andrew Garcia, that is a pretty nice looking car, huh? So guys, if you haven't noticed right here, this is the car of the week, and today it is Andrew Garcia's. He's right here in the chat. That is his 70th anniversary edition, carbon flash black, and it is carbon fibered out from what I understand. I met him.
And it's fully expelled, correct, Jason?
Yes, fully expelled from Expel Dallas, and ceramic coated, tinted. And that car, I took that pic on Saturday when we met up and went for a drive. That thing is nuts. I got a video coming out on it tomorrow. That car is smoking hot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad's Garage kind of read my mind here, guys. He says we're way behind on the thumbs up. Please, let's get those thumbs up going, guys. This is what they look like, in case you're wondering. It would really help the channel if you could hit that thumbs up. It helps massively. There he is. There's Shane. He's here to tell on you guys. Please hit the thumbs up. It really helps.
Late, Shane. One day late.
C8 Taco. Yeah. We're going to get into all kinds of C8 stuff here in a second, guys. Sweet 70th anniversary, says General Lee. Definitely is. Shane says we're up to 40 thumbs up. That's awesome. I like when we hit 100 pretty much immediately. It makes me feel good about myself. CS says that he bought a 2009 ZR1 3LZ. It gets delivered next week. Bone stock. Do you recommend any upgrades or mods? Ooh, that's a good question. So, number one, congratulations on an awesome car. I think the C6 ZR1s are freaking amazing, especially when I was down in Texas for the Vets for Vets show. One of my subscribers showed up in, I believe it was a 13, which is the best year for the ZR1, of course. That's the best year for any C6 because it's the last year. And it was a black ZR1 with chrome wheels, and it was perfect. It looked perfect. Honestly, with those kind of cars, same kind of thing I would do with my C6 Z06. I would put an exhaust on it, and that's pretty much it. Maybe headers, exhaust, and an intake at best. The car doesn't really need much. I mean, you're already you're knocking on the door of 700 horsepower. There's not really a lot that you have to do. Yeah, so General Lee, this is DeAnthony's shirt. I don't remember the site he's using to sell these, and I asked him before I got on here, and I didn't get an answer, but the shirt's really cool. This is one of the only ones he made so far in red, so the red Z06 on the shirt. He did it just for me because I guess he likes me. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, Matt Hurley, you could do the attack blue air filter on that for sure. Headers, tune. I don't know if I'd mess too much with the pulley. You could, but again, you're so close to 700 horsepower. I don't know how much crazier you really want to go because the cars already fight so hard for traction. I don't know. It's like with my C7 ZR1, it's 702 horsepower to the wheels, and stock, I have trouble getting traction. So does it make a lot of sense to throw more horsepower at it? Probably not. Matt Hurley is in the house. What's up, man? Okay, so what are we going to talk about first here? Let me open up.
Giveaway.
Yeah, of course. Let's talk about the giveaway, guys. So
get the giveaway.
Yeah, this is why we have you on the channel, Steve.
That's it.
That's the only freaking reason.
And to be unpolitically correct.
Unpolitically correct, yes.
Well, you guys don't even understand how much spanked I get off of this from Justin because he's trying to manage a low key. So I'm really.
Yeah, at the end of every one of these shows, I'm like, well, you could have done better, Steve. Like, you could have done better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Horan says, I would upgrade the mag ride. That is 100% one of the first things I would do. I totally forgot about that. The C6 and the C7 up to, I believe, 2019 can have the mag ride updated from Jim Merrow's findings. So you can get that done for the C7 at the dealership, but I think the C6 has to go through a different operation, if I remember right. You need that giveaway. General, you're talking about the next one, not this one. 11-second Eclipse says, Justin, your ZR1 looks awesome lowered, man. It really does. I can't wait to get some glamour shots of it once the weather in Pennsylvania breaks 40 degrees. Be nice.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Have you got it out of the driveway yet?
No.
I wonder why.
I'm nervous. Let's be honest here. Now I do have slip low on the bottom, so I think one way or another it'll be all right. But I'm nervous. We'll see what happens.
Dude, I've seen your driveway, and it would scare the crap out of me. I was scared backing the TRX out of that thing.
Yeah, right. Oh man. All right, so Jose Watkins asked if I use drop spindles. I did not. And I'll be honest, this is weird because the ZR1 has, for the most part, the same suspension setup that the C7 Z06 with the Z07 package had. And I had a C6 with the C7 Z06 with the Z07 package car that I lowered too. And the front end did not come down as low on that Z07 package car as my ZR1 did. I have no idea what the difference there is, but somehow the ZR1 lowered in the front especially. It's absolutely perfect. I mean, I don't think the car would look better at all with the drop spindles. The lowering bolts in the front, perfect. Yeah. So anyway, let's get into the giveaway here, guys. So the giveaway for today is going to be the Attack Blue air filter. We talked about this a little bit last week. I sell them on my website because I'm good friends with Ed, who runs the the website that sells these things. He's actually the manufacturer of the Attack Blue. Everything is manufactured right here in the United States, and you can win one of these. So every $10 donated gets you an entry to win an Attack Blue air filter for either the C6, the C7, or the C8. So this is not just a one generation giveaway. You can get any one of these. So if you win and you have a C6, you can get a C6 air filter. So I like doing it this way because then that doesn't exclude any of you guys who don't have the newest of the new. I understand not everybody even wants the newest of the new. So the person over here that was just asking about the C6 ZR1, yeah, okay, you got that car. Now you can get an air filter for it. Every $10 donated gets you an entry to win. We obviously prefer Venmo, which is linked up at the top of the chat over here. But if you can't do that, Super Chats will work as well. Jet Driver says that I guess that was my lowering video on my C7, that it was a heck of a video. I appreciate that. That video actually took me a long time to film because you couldn't really tell in the video, but that video, I started filming it and I don't think I finished the second half. I think it was a month and a half in between the first half and the second half because we had one really nice day and I got the first part of it done. And then a month and a half later was how long it took for us to have another nice day for me to finish that video. Got 70 thumbs up currently, guys. We appreciate it, but it'd be awesome if you guys could hit that thumbs up button for us a little bit more. Once more, I want to talk about the car of the week over here. This is Andrew Garcia. He's in the chat. It's a 70th anniversary carbon flash black car with a bunch of carbon fiber on it. Your car could be here. If you would like to have your car sponsored or shown off on one of our Monday Night Lives, shoot me an email, horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com, and we'll get you set up to be on there for one of the car of the weeks.
Check you Gmail. Okay. How about check you Venmo?
All right, so yeah, guys, the giveaway for this week and partially next week, we're going to talk about something really important at the end of today's show. So if you want to hear something really awesome, watch all the way to the very end. This was kind of Steve's idea. And we're gonna kind of give you a teaser into next week's giveaway, because next week's giveaway is really huge. This week's giveaway is pretty big too, but not quite as huge as what's coming next week. If you guys are interested, like I said, an Attack Blue reusable air filter. I've personally done the dyno testing on this one for the C8, and I can personally tell you without doubt it gains 11 horsepower on a C8 Corvette. The C7, the reports are a little bit higher, but I talked to Ed about that. He said that they were independently done, so he can't say for sure, but it was done at a reputable shop. I'm not going to tell you that that's necessarily 100% legit, but at the same time, I can tell you it's going to gain horsepower just because of the nature of the air filter. It flows better. It's going to gain power. You can get it for the C6, C7, or C8. Every $10 donated is an entry to win. Now we're going to start talking about some actual news here, guys. I don't want to bore you too much with the giveaway stuff. 80 thumbs up currently. Appreciate it. So I'm going to check my Gmail real quick. Somebody told me to do that. Somebody sent me their pictures already.
Tell them to send them also to @vet_syndicate on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just send everything I get over to you guys as well. It's easier to not throw a million things out there.
All right.
Jose just has a question for you.
Jose.
Yes, Jose.
Venmo still good for a give. Absolutely. So Jose, pinned up at the top of the chat is the link for Venmo. Every $10 donated will get you an entry to win one of those air filters, whether you have a C6, C7, or C8. Mark, I knew it was only a matter of time before someone asked something like this. He says, is there an Attack yellow filter? Like to color coordinate, asking for a friend. If there was colors on this, guaranteed Steve would have red. So the fact that he has the Attack blue is guaranteed there is no other color.
I'm with Mark.
85 thumbs up currently, guys. I appreciate it. Bruno says the blue filter is a great inexpensive mod. It's just you got to deal with 97 screws to get to it. It's a
Yeah.
little less than 90, a little less than 97. It's like 96, but yeah, it is a super easy mod. I feel like I could probably have, if I would have given my wife a screwdriver, she could have done it. So it can't.
Here's the biggest tip: when you go to install this thing, use a hair dryer to warm up it goes right on real easy.
Yeah.
That and it smells good.
If you're in a cold environment, that's especially important.
Yeah. And we did it when it was like 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're going to kind of do here, guys, is like I said, I ask a question on my YouTube channel here, and it kind of is going to factor in every week on what it is you guys want to see. So what news do you want to talk about? All that good stuff. Now, I already asked this on this past Saturday, and I got a good bit of responses here. If you guys have any questions specifically about your car, your build, your generation, whatever the case may be, and you can put whatever questions you have in there, and we're going to talk about them on our Monday Night Live. So this is something to make it a little bit more personal, a little bit more, something that's relevant to you specifically. So we're going to go through some of these comments, and we're going to start answering and talking about it a little bit. So we're going to start off with the one here from Wheeler O'Hara. He asks, I would like to see an update on Justin's Z06 allocation options and where to go from here. But with this Thursday being Z06 allocation day, from what I recall, then perhaps the Monday after would be better timing. Yeah, so that's what I've heard as well. This Thursday is likely to be allocations for the Z06, which let's, fingers crossed that we hear something. But the update on my Z06 is that there is no update on my Z06. That's pretty easy, I guess. Hopefully, fingers crossed, next Monday there's an update on my Z06. But yeah, as of now, guys, trust me, you will be the first ones to know if there is an update on that Z06. I saw another question pop up in here. Andrew Garcia says, I totally forgot I have this filter already. Yeah, honestly, you should. One of the first mods, one of the easiest mods to have sitting in your garage ready to go for when you get your car is this air filter. Because the price is right, the ease of installation is there. You can definitely throw it in no matter what kind of mechanic expertise you have. 2020 Matrix 8 says, when are they going to have an intact blue air filter for the Z06? He is actually currently working on that. He has the air box from the Z06 already, and he is designing that as we speak. So should be any day. General Lee asks the same question. Yeah, it's coming. And when it does, you will be able to find it on my website as well. Yeah, 11-second clip says you can't really see the air filter, so it doesn't really matter the color of it. That's 100% true. It could be attack pink, and I wouldn't care. Man, I swear I saw a question in here about Future Sean says, Justin, let's bring that TRX of yours up to 850. I'm going to do something that's going to gain a little bit of power, but I don't know that I want to do anything that voids warranty just yet. We'll see what happens. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about some more of these questions that we have. So I gave you guys the update on my Z06, which is the fact that there is no update. Here's all the other questions, though, guys. These are all the questions that you guys asked. This was another one. Jamie asks, I'm interested in a discussion of known problems with the C8 Corvettes. Also, how often do others change oil? Has anyone done so in the first 1,000 miles? Yeah. So there is kind of a list of, I don't want to say a list, but there are a couple C8 issues that are pretty common. Number one, I would change that oil if your car is still within the first couple hundred miles. Change the oil and the transmission filter after the first 500 miles. GM doesn't actually recommend you to do this. It's in their user manual that the first oil change and transmission filter changed is 7,500 miles. I personally would do it in the first 500 miles. My findings with my C8 Corvette were that I should have done it earlier than I did, and I did mine at 1,500. So 500 miles, if you're asking me personally, do that change in the first 500 miles, and then after that, I would do it probably every 3,000 miles after that. Oil change, that is. The transmission filter can be left a little bit longer, but I would not go the 7,500 miles that they say that you can. That filter has been having a little bit of issue, from what I've heard, clogging pretty early. So you want to change that transmission filter relatively frequently, but the oil, I would say 3,000, 3,500 miles at most. Shane says, I need a new project for the channel. Stay tuned. There might just be something coming. No. Steven Risha says, somehow my insurance on my 23 C8 is less than my 1651 Z51. That actually makes sense. Yeah. Didn't you had that same finding, didn't you, Jason?
Me and Steve. Steve, I think, may have went down even more, but I didn't get rid of mine, so I don't know how to. I didn't really look to compare them, but since I still have my Z06, but yeah, it is less than the Z06. And I know Steve's was probably, I think, quite a bit less for his Z51, the C8 versus the Z51 or C7 Stingray.
Yeah.
Non-Z51.
So there's a reason for this. There's a couple of reasons, actually. So number one, the C8 is newer. It has better like airbag support, just better, the fact that it's newer and the parts are easier to get. If you were ever to get into an accident, it's more readily available than possibly your 16 Stingray. The other thing is that the C8 also has more of an ability to drive for you than the C7 does. So you can lose control of a C7 if you don't know how to drive. You can easily kick the rear end of that thing out and lose it. Whereas on the C8, it's almost impossible to lose control of that car. So basically the safety options are better on the C8. That's why the biggest reason why the insurance is less.
My insurance, I'm like, it's a 23 C8. It's $53 a month. It's cheap.
Yeah, it is pretty good. Gary Block says,
no, it's crazy.
But they also know yours is going to sit in the garage. They watch your YouTube channel. Never going to leave. There's no, you know.
They actually pay me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Kerry Glock says that he did his engine oil change and complete transmission flush and added 2 quarts and a new filter at 1,100 miles. So that's actually another thing I would recommend. Anybody who has a C8 Corvette, and that's these two down below me as well, you should be adding those 2 extra quarts. The biggest thing here to remember is that the only reason that GM did not include the 2 extra quarts of transmission fluid in the C8 is because it hurts your EPA, your gas rating, by this much. And that much was enough for them to make the decision to leave those 2 quarts out. Me personally, I have heard reports that if you park this car on a steep enough hill, that you can actually run that transmission dry because of those 2 quarts not being in there. I would put the 2 quarts in. It's going to cost you a couple $100 in a couple minutes of your time. Do the 2 extra quarts if you have the car. I would 100% recommend that.
Yeah.
Let's see what other questions we have. Tony says you got a nice looking garage there.
Thank you.
One more time, guys, if you could, please hit the thumbs up button. We're here to answer all of your Corvette questions, not just C8, not just C7, not just C6. Any Corvette questions you have, we will be answering them if you guys put them in the actual community tab posts, which happen every weekend. So keep an eye on the Horsepower Obsessed YouTube channel in the community tab. And when I ask what you'd like to talk about, put your question in there. Wheeler O'Haro, and this is where my recommendation comes from. He says another reason to stick with the Z06 because it already comes with the extra 2 quarts. That's the biggest reason why I would suggest putting the 2 extra quarts in the base C8 Stingray as well, because there's no reason not to. If the Z06 comes with it, you know it should have it. And they're banking on the fact that people are going to drive the Stingray less aggressive than how they drive the Z06, which is not always the case. I would put the 2 quarts in there. It's worth the extra money. And now I'm pretty sure you can actually have the Corvette Museum put the extra quarts in there for you. So it's not even something you have to deal with after the fact. Shane says we got 110 thumbs up currently. That's awesome, guys. If we could keep going, that'd be really cool. Red Stingray Corvette says, what is the cutoff date for the 23 model year? That is going to be either May or June. Is usually, last year it was May 9th, I believe. Douglas Bob Gandis says, when is the next Corvette giveaway? Huh. You're in luck, Douglas. There might just be one coming. Stay tuned, guys. We may be doing a Corvette giveaway on this channel very soon. Extra 2 quarts, green check mark, 100%. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are some things that they do design, but if you go through the list of the parts on their website, almost all of them are provided by somebody else. Okay, let me flip over here again and kind of look at some of these questions. I'm answering these questions as I see them on here. I haven't really looked at these yet up to this point, so we're going to go through these and answer these kind of live. Some of these I don't know the answer to, like White Heart Horsepower. I know he's down there in Texas with you guys. He asked a really good question about the C8 spark plugs. I don't know the answer to that, so I'm not going to even attempt to battle through that one. That is something I will look into, though, and we'll talk about that in the future. Here's another one we were going to talk about, and that is the upcoming ZR1 or ZORA or whatever it's going to be called. So you guys know we have talked a good bit about the performance variants coming for the C8 Corvette. I personally think the C8 ZR1 is going to be called the C8 Corvette ZORA. I don't think we're going to get a ZR1. Not officially as far as the moniker is concerned, at least. I believe we have, at this point, we have probably one more performance variant coming after the E-Ray, and that is the ZORA. The ZORA is very likely to be pretty close to 1,000 horsepower, if not exactly 1,000. That's been the rumor since pretty much day one with the C8, was that the ZORA was going to hit 1,000 horsepower, and I also believe it is very likely to be fully electric. With that said, it's probably going to be quite a freaking car. I mean, as of now, you guys know the Plaid, the Tesla Plaid, it is 1,000 horsepower, and that thing is an absolute monster. But it's totally up to you if you're an electric car kind of guy, or however it is you want to look at it. Looks like we have 115 thumbs up currently. Guys, if we could please hit those thumbs ups. It really helps the channel. It really helps make sure that other Corvette enthusiasts see this video, and it helps grow the Corvette Weekly audience. So the more that are in here, the merrier. So please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps. I saw a question in here. Elijah says, how much is the insurance on a C7 ZR1? This is something that's I'm going to be including in a future video. I'm going to actually break it down because I did this years ago whenever I had my C7 Z06. And I just had somebody comment on it recently that said that there was no way that I only paid like, I think it was $38 or something a month for my Z06 insurance. And that was how it broke down. So my insurance policy is also obviously a multi-car policy. So I have my TRX, my ZR1, my C6 Z06, and my wife's Cadillacs all on the same policy. So whenever we get the bill every 3 months of, whatever it is, I just divide that up across 4 cars, and that's the price I give. I'm going to give a better price comparison with the ZR1 because, believe it or not, the ZR1 insurance it's not even the most expensive car on my policy. I'm pretty sure it's my wife's car. But you also would have to keep in mind that the way my policy is set up is that my ZR1 is not driven every day, whereas hers is. So yeah, more to come on that. AJ Vincent says, do you think the E-Ray is much of a jump from the C8 Z06? No, I don't. But here's the thing is there's a lot to keep in mind with the E-Ray. I think the E-Ray is going to be a really cool car. I really do. I also don't think the E-Ray is going to mean anything 10 years from now, whereas the C8 Z06 still will. And it's funny because I've been saying that for a while now, and just recently, I think it was Top Gear put out a video where they were talking about the Z06, and they mentioned that exact same sentence without even having an E-Ray in the video. So it's what a lot of people are thinking, and I'm saying it, and so are they. The E-Ray is cool, but it's not going to matter soon. Dr. Corvette says the new C8 Corvette does not have spark plugs. I don't know if that's a joke. I hope it is, because it definitely does.
Yeah, he was joking.
Now the C8 ZORA, when it comes out, if it is fully electric, it won't have spark plugs.
Nope. It also won't have.
All right, so let me pull up my Venmo account here because I haven't looked at that yet. So once again, guys, we are giving away an Attack Blue air filter for your C6, C7, or C8 Corvette. So if you have any one of those 3 generations Corvettes, every $10 donated is an entry to win that air filter. And it will be brand new, shipped from the manufacturer. All right, so Jose Watkins Z06 donated $20 for the giveaway. So he gets entered 2 times for the air filter. If any of you guys are interested in getting a C6, C7, or C8 air filter that is reusable, it is higher flowing than your stock filter, and it will gain power, but also filter better. That's the one you want to do.
And it makes your exhaust louder. We have proof of it. Now,
It does help with the exhaust sound as well. But if you're wanting to massively increase your exhaust sound, the air filter is not necessarily going to do it by itself.
No.
Get to 300 thumbs ups and Justin will put up the ZR1 for a giveaway. That's not going to happen. I would have to be guaranteed to make millions before I would even consider giving away that ZR1. Mark says, I agree, Justin. The engine is most of the reason it will be remembered, amongst other reasons. Yeah. And that's the thing, is the E-Ray is a cool car, but at the end of the day, it has the same powertrain as the Stingray with a hybrid setup that is not long for the world, we'll say. So it is something that is going to get tired after a certain amount of years. And at that point, it's just not going to be special anymore. I'm not saying you shouldn't get an E-Ray, because honestly, if my name came up tomorrow and I was able to get an E-Ray, I would get one. But I'm just saying, it's in 10 years from now, it's not going to be held in higher regard than the Z06. Ralph Cruz says they are laser plugs now instead of spark plugs. Yeah. We're living in the future, guys. Ralph Cruz, you have a C8. You could use an air filter. Yeah, Elijah. Amber would probably kill me and bury me in the backyard if I sold my ZR1. Mm-hmm. 160 horsepower plus, not long for the world. Come on. I think you totally misunderstood what I was saying by that, but it's just the fact that it's a hybrid battery-powered operation. Battery doesn't last forever. Charge and recharge. Eventually it will stop holding a charge. Motor Ranch says, if Zora is going to be all electric, I hope they make a combustion engine ZR1. That's kind of where some people's minds are at. I don't know if I see it. I really don't, because Chevy's got this gigantic push for electric. All the companies out there are pushing hard for electric, and we're already starting into it with the E-Ray, the hybrid setup. They're already kind of testing out the electric aspects. I don't know if I see another gas-powered variant of the C8 at all. Do you guys think the E-Ray will get a Z06 edition? That's another kind of rumor that me and the guy that I actually bought my C6 Z06 from, him and I have talked off screen a lot about this, and we kind of came to the conclusion that it's GM's, I don't want to say cheap or lazy, but it's kind of GM's way to do exactly that, where they would take the Z06 and just throw the hybrid setup on the front wheels of the E-Ray and call that a ZR1, because they already have all the stuff. They already have the engine, they already have the body, they already have the hybrid front motor and all that stuff. So you could do that. Put the Z06 engine in the rear and the hybrid motor on the front and call it a ZR1. It's absolutely possible. I speculate that it's not, that we are not going to get a ZR1, but it is possible that we will. I mean, this is just my opinion. I feel like with the fact that they're renaming the Grand Sport to the E-Ray, why wouldn't they rename the ZR1 to something more fitting of this car, given the fact that this is the first mid-engine Corvette, which we all know ZORA wanted. Now it's here. Why not call it a ZORA? Just like I don't want a detachable face CD player anymore. Yeah. It's funny how fast that came in and got completely ejected out of what we like in life. Stupid Fast Truck donates $20. He says, sorry I haven't taken the time to set up Venmo. That's all right, Stupid Fast Truck. We appreciate any support. He will get entered twice for the air filter. Right. And whoever ends up winning this, guys, you would just, at that point, you would let me know which generation Corvette you have, and we'll get you the right one.
And speaking of that, check Venmo.
Yeah, so let's see, Venmo. Okay, so Jeremy Runyon, he sends $50.
That's Blown 6 Gen.
Yep, $50. That's 5 entries for the air filter. So at that, obviously, if you were to win, you would just let me know which one you need. Let's see. Scott says, my friend's son is a Corvette engineer. Do not count out the ZR1. There's a reason he has a deposit down. I'll be honest with you. If you have put a deposit down on a ZR1 or a ZORA and your dealership took that deposit, then you're dealing with a shady dealership, because nothing official exists on either one of those two cars. So even if there is a ZR1 that's going to exist, the fact that it doesn't yet means that your dealership should not be taking your money. So I would be very hesitant to make that your argument, because that's probably not a good idea. Usually dealerships will not take money from you until GM officially acknowledges that that car exists. Just like our friend Shane over here, he stood in line at the dealership to get his E-Ray set up, and it was only after GM officially announced that that car was in existence that they opened up a list to actually take deposits and stuff. Brobarian says that he saw somewhere on YouTube a channel where they actually looked at the innards of the Z06, where there were actually parts and locations to make it hybrid. That's not just the Z06, that's the C8 in general. So a lot of people looked at the C8 Corvette Stingray when it first came out, and there was a very clear giant hole in the center tunnel where you could easily put a battery. The cutaway of the C8 that kind of showed like half the car was built and the other half was down to the frame. That particular cutaway, people were able to see almost immediately that the front wheels had a hole in the spindles where you could easily put an axle, meaning at some point this car was going to get a motor on the front wheels, because otherwise there would be no reason to have that hole there. It would have just been a solid piece of aluminum or whatever. So a lot of speculation in the very beginning pointed to the fact that this car was eventually going to have some sort of front wheel drive, and likely it was going to be battery powered. We knew that pretty early on. Looks like we got 127 thumbs ups. Let's go ahead and check out some more of the questions that have come in. But actually, you know what? Before we do, I want to talk about one of the things that we talked, or that was mentioned on the thumbnail here, and that is the real production numbers for the C8 and the Z06. So over at the Mid-Engine Corvette forum, we have officially hit over 100,000 C8 Stingrays have been produced. So since 2020, we have built over 100,000. So this is pretty cool. This is nice to know that these things are they're getting built, they're getting pushed out there. I know for some of you guys it seems like it's a little too slow, but it is happening. So we have 100,000 C8 Corvettes on the road today. Pretty interesting stuff.
It feels like there's about 20,000 of them in the DFW area.
Most of them are in the DFW. Yeah. Honestly, like in the Pennsylvania, in the Pittsburgh area where I live, it's very rare that I see a C8. It's very rare I see a C7. Like it's not that often we see those kind of cars up here.
I see all those every day. I mean, so Saturday I'm going to an event for just this area, the DFW C8 group from Facebook. No idea how many people are going to show up, but I assume there'll be a fair amount.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
right after that world.
It makes more sense to have a car like this, I guess, down in Texas because you can drive it a lot more often. So it does make sense that I would see them less often up here, but so Navy Blue sends $69. That's Canadian, so I have no idea what that translates to. Maybe like $50. Just give them 7 entries. I honestly don't know what to say. So
Got it.
All right. Thank you, Davy. We appreciate the support. I just saw Doug H says I don't see any either. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of them running around.
Well, this is like the perfect time of year because the weather's like, I mean, unless we're getting an ice storm or hail or wind, it's actually been like really good weather or flooding rains.
Yeah.
But other than those days, it's actually phenomenal.
So Trey says, do you know they have the LT7, which is a Z06 engine with twin turbos? So there is literally zero proof of that exact thing being the LT7. I have seen a kind of a copyright or a trademark thing for the LT7 engine to exist with the C8 Corvette. It is possible that it's going to be some sort of modified Z06 engine, but it's very unlikely, in my experience, very unlikely that it's going to be a twin turbocharged flat plane crank. Very unlikely it's going to go that route. The flat plane crank is already not a super reliable engine, especially if you start throwing forced induction at it. I just don't see it happening unless they seriously fortify what they have there currently, which is possible. All right, so I wanted to mention again, guys, we have hit 100,000 C8 Stingrays built. Here are the production numbers. If you wanted to look at the mid-engine Corvette forum, it actually shows you what year and how many were produced that particular year. It looks like we just pretty much recently hit the 100,000 mark, so that's pretty cool. But the more interesting thing here is the other thing that I know a lot of you guys wanted to know, and we've been asking about this for a while, is how many Z06s have been made. So this spreadsheet actually exists again on the mid-engine Corvette forum.com, and it shows you the grand total highlighted here is from March 2nd, and it's 1208, but that includes the 216 captured test fleet vehicles. So without those, we're at almost 1,000. So we're obviously down to March 6th now at this point. We can safely take out the 216 captured test fleets, and that puts us over 1,000 C8 Corvette Z06s built to this day. That's pretty cool, but it is definitely not enough. These things should be getting churned out a little bit faster, in my opinion. And initially, GM said that we were going to have them coming out a little faster, but it is what it is. It's nice to know the numbers. So we're at over 100,000 on the Stingray, and we're over 1,000 on the Z06 right now. February was a bad month for the Z06. We didn't get any allocations. Vet Sweet Nos says, should I sell my red eye and get a ZL1 or build a C6 wide body drag car? And that's a good question. I really like the ZL1s. I think they're really awesome cars, assuming you're talking about the 6th gen especially. But the C6, if you're looking
That
for
would be awesome.
If you're looking for a drag car, it's kind of tough with the C6, especially if I don't know if you would build from the Z06 or from just the base C6, because if you're building a drag car, you really don't want a manual transmission car. Brobarian, that's not really why I say that. He says that he thinks the twin turbo Corvette seems kind of archaic now. I don't necessarily agree. I don't think they would do it specifically on the LT6 engine, because it is a flat plane crank. And when you start throwing forced induction at a flat plane, you're going to have issues unless they really fortify that engine. And if they really do fortify it, then you're talking about significant cost and significant weight too. So it's not likely that they would start with the LT6 as the base of that engine if they do decide to twin turbocharge one of the engines. Yeah, 2020 Matrix 8 says they are not going to twin turbo the flat plane crank. If anything, they're going to give it an electric assist button, kind of not like nitrous. Yeah, the twin turbo thing's it's almost guaranteed not going to be based on a flat plane crank. If they did the twin turbo at all, it would be maybe based off of the LT2. Navi Blue says, Justin, are you going to the Bash next month? I am definitely going to try to go. I want to, so I'm going to say 90% yes. Guys, if we could get some thumbs ups. I haven't heard from my guy here. Oh, there he is. 137 thumbs ups currently. We could definitely use a little bit more. But one more time, guys, if you are interested in getting into the giveaway going today and will end next Monday night, it is going to be the Attack Blue air filters. Every $10 donated will get you an entry, and we're going to talk about something really cool here in a couple minutes about that next giveaway. So stay tuned. BPR Z06 says, tell us how much you like the new spoiler on the C6 Z06. I really like it. It's what the C6 Z06 needs. And honestly, I don't know why that car didn't come with a spoiler. It doesn't make sense. That little thing that they have on the third brake light, I don't even know what that is. Like, that it needs a spoiler. Yeah, it's like somebody referred to it as a duckbill, but I don't even know if it's a duckbill. It's like, usually a duckbill at least goes the entire length of the bumper. This thing's just like right in the middle, and it's just weird. I never understood it. And it looks a million times better with just a little lip spoiler. It's not even anything massive, but I really like it.
It was night and day from the way it looked before. It was fantastic.
I agree. Yeah, I'll see you there. Shane says we have 139 thumbs ups. Let's move on to another question here. This is something that maybe we can kind of answer this as a group, because I don't actually know the answer on this one. And this is, does chipping a C7 Stingray Z51 give any extra horsepower, mileage? Will it cause engine damage, electrical damage? So what he's referring to is like one of those performance chips. And honestly, I didn't even know that we still did this. The performance chipping thing, the last time I heard about this was like when the IROC Camaros were popular. Like,
yes,
it's been a while.
I loved it.
Oh, dude, the IROCs were awesome. Back then, chipping a Camaro or chipping something like that, really, it did do something. But nowadays, it's like everything's so electrical. I don't know that that's really going to benefit anything. So in my experience, chips are no longer, yeah, exactly. Blown 6th Gen says the same thing. Chips are no longer a thing. I don't think they are either. I have not heard anything about that in a long time. Got 141 thumbs ups, guys. We could definitely use a little bit more. Yeah, stupid fast truck. It's more of a tuning thing now, I think. I think the same thing. So that was a pretty easy question. Let's move on to the next one here. Learning Fast says, is all-wheel drive better than rear-wheel drive? This is an interesting way to make sure that we absolutely divide everybody in the room here, because it is and it isn't. You would not see cars still exist today in rear-wheel drive form if all-wheel drive was massively better. There are trade-offs on both sides. So in my experience, rear-wheel drive cars are more fun to drive. All-wheel drive cars are more quick to drive. So if you're looking to launch down the drag strip and get the best time possible, all-wheel drive might be your best option. If you're looking to have fun driving your car and maybe kick the rear end out every now and then, rear-wheel drive is probably your go-to. There's more to it than just that, but that's the high overview is where I would start. It really depends on what you want to do. If you're going to be on cars, especially if launching is your thing, 0 to 60 is where you want to live, all-wheel drive is where you want to be. Mark says, Justin, hurry up on getting your Z06 so I can get free mod installation. All your guys' mod videos are very much appreciated and awesome to watch. I'll tell you what, Mark, I'll get one a lot faster if you help me. You want to give me yours? I'd have it pretty quick. I don't know what else to say, man. I like I said, I'm number one at a bunch of different dealerships, and none of them have gotten allocations. Like, it's not even that I'm dragging my feet or anything. Like, it's not there. The option is literally not there for me unless I decide I want to pay $100K over, and then I could probably get one.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Is that your dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog's barking. Always barking at something. We got 146 thumbs ups currently. I don't know how you're even able to hear that. I can barely hear him.
Oh,
it's just like listening to Jason type on the keyboard.
I don't know how that's possible because if I move like 5 feet away from my mic, you can't even hear it.
There you go.
All right, 148. All right, so question came up here. Brobarian wants to know, what do you guys think about the financial aspect of maintenance on a Z06? That's honestly one of the bigger selling points of a C8 Corvette in general, is that it's a supercar or an exotic car since it's rear engine or mid engine, but it doesn't have the drawbacks of your typical mid engine car. So an oil change on a Huracan can be upwards of $1,000. An oil change on a C8 Corvette Stingray, $150 to $200, and that's if you're not doing it yourself. If you do it yourself, you could probably get done for $75 ish, depending on your
unless you're a really good dealership, they'll do it for 80.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not that difficult, especially if you have one of the things that we're talking about as a giveaway for next week. If you have those, it's even easier. So yeah, 149 thumbs up currently. But honestly, the Z06, the maintenance on a Z06 is not much worse than it is on the C8 Stingrays. The oil filter is located in the same spot. The oil that it uses is slightly different, but still relatively cheap and at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, it's the maintenance and the price of the ownership for the Z06 or the C8 it's really good. Thumbs up completed, says Barbarian. Thank you. We appreciate it. How is the lower Z06 working out for you, Justin? It's actually, the car I lowered is a ZR1. I have not actually driven it yet, though, so I can't tell you exactly how it's working out. The weather here in Pennsylvania is not very great right now, but the first ride I take in that thing, I'll be making a video. Let's see. Let's go back for a couple more questions, and then we're going to start wrapping this thing up, I think. If you guys are interested, you're going to want to donate $10 and get entered to win that Attack Blue air filter. You definitely should get an air filter for your car. C6, C7, or C8, doesn't matter. We'll do one more question here, and then we're going to start into the wrap-up. Well, I actually already answered this one for this particular guy, but since we talked about this a little bit last week, we'll talk about it again here. How long does it take to PPF a new Corvette, the whole car? So, you guys know last week I had Josh from Blackout Tinting on here. He is the owner of the shop, obviously. He brought a lot of knowledge to the game, and really appreciated having him on here. He's answered this question already, but with the guys at the Latrobe shop, they're really well versed in C8 Corvettes because there's a bunch of them in and out of there all the time. So they can typically wrap an entire C8 in 3 to 4 days. And then you take 1 extra day for touch-up to make sure everything's perfect, and then you're pretty much good to go. So usually about 5 days. Now, one more time, guys, I do want to mention, like I said, the giveaway for today is the C8, C7, or C6 Attack Blue nanofiber reusable air filter, all made here in the U.S. It's going to add horsepower. It's going to be reusable, so you can wash it and reuse it. It is not oiled, so this is a dry flow style filter. And what that means for you is that the power creation is there because of extra airflow, but it's not at the cost of filtration. This will still filter better than your stock air filter, but it will flow better as well. And it's reusable. So normally I would say the price is very, very competitive because the stock air filter on a C8 or a C7 especially is not much cheaper than what you would pay for one of these. Again, I want to make sure of a couple things. Number one, the car of the week right here. This could be your car. If you would like to be entered to have your car up there for the week, send me an email at horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. Show me your car and I will... Oh, that's it. Bruno. Was it Bruno that asked that question? Dang it. I knew I was going to forget that. All right, so guys, real quick, before we go, I got to ask this question. He sent me a question. This was a non-Corvette related question, of course. He asks if you use butter or mayo on your grilled cheese. So if you make grilled cheese, do you use mayo or butter? Now,
Yes.
Personally, I have never heard of using mayo. I have never heard of that. But
What do you mean? As far as when you say using mayo, what do you mean? You mean as far as putting it on the sandwich?
yeah,
No, bread. No, buttering it, like frying it with, instead of putting butter and putting a skillet, you put mayonnaise on the outside and put a skillet. Unless you really want to go crazy and use Miracle Whip.
Yeah.
none of this sounds good.
Yeah, I cook with butter, but I put mayonnaise.
No, butter's the way.
You use mayonnaise, Jason?
Not to cook it, I put it in the sandwich. But when I cook it, when I fry it with butter in the pan.
Okay.
But then I open it up and I put mayonnaise inside and then close it back up.
I have never heard of mayo, but this guy was pretty. Yeah, I'm seeing some people in the comment section, they use mayo. I don't know. I've never heard of this.
I haven't either.
Mark says mayo doesn't burn as easy as butter. Try it. Then Wheeler kind of said what I said. He said, "F no to mayo. That's gross." And that was my initial thought too. Was, oh God, it sounds nasty.
Yeah, I mean, I would try it. If I didn't like it, just throw it away.
I have no idea. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to mention that real quick, guys, because I do want to keep the questions relatively related to Corvette stuff since this is Corvette Weekly. But at the same time, if we want to get a little off topic, we're absolutely going to be okay with that. Anyway, guys, we have something really cool coming probably next week, maybe the following week as a giveaway. I want to wrap up the Attack Blue Air Filter next week as the giveaway. We're going to wrap that up, and then we're going to start immediately into the next one. And that's going to be something that you guys are really, really, really going to like. Right, Steve? Are they going to like it?
Oh, I've used it multiple times as owning my own personal one. So you definitely want it. Any Corvette owner, heck, any car person should want this.
Should I show them the picture?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. So next week's giveaway is going to start after the Attack Blue one is done. But the beautiful thing here is every entry you make into the Attack Blue air filter, if you don't win, will also put you in an entry for this new product too. And here it is. This is what it's going to be. It is going to be race ramps. So these are the 67-inch race ramps. That means you will be able to get your lowered car up on these things without an issue. These are typically like $400, guys. You guys can win these for a $10 donation. Now, this is going to start next week. So every entry from this point forward, so even if you guys decide you want to put an entry in when we're not live, and you absolutely can do that, it's just the same donation to Venmo. Every entry will get you, every $10 entry will get you entered once to win the Attack Blue and the race ramps. And you can see exactly how exciting this is. Just look at Steve's face. Look at that.
You don't know how many times we took that stupid photo. We took that photo like 10 times, and Jason's like, my knee's killing me. My knee's killing me.
Wide.
Yeah. So, guys, we have some really awesome giveaways going on the channel here. Like I said, be prepared. If you want to get entered to win now, send the donations now. It does not have to be while we're live. It does not have to be that way. So if you want to send any kind of donations, every $10 sent will get you entered to win the Attack Blue and now the race ramps. So yeah, you're going to want to get in on those. I've been using my race ramps now. I've had those things for about 5 years, and I literally use them probably once or twice a month. So if you're doing a lot of your own mods on your car, you're going to use these things very often.
They're incredibly light. People don't understand how light, and you're underneath this thing, you feel
safe.
Like, I'm not worried.
Yep.
Yeah, totally safe.
I actually was concerned when I went to your house. I'm like, dude, I don't think I'm going to get underneath these things. I just can't. I just don't feel like I would be safe. Once the car was up there, I was like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yep, it was great.
Stupid Fast Truck says the real question is, did they stick the landing? You guys can't tell, but Jason's actually in a wheelchair right now. No, they're good, guys. Trey says, Justin, when are you coming back down to Florida? I'm actually flying out on Saturday, so this Saturday I'll be back down there. If you want to try to set something up, if you're in Florida, shoot me an email, thehorsepowerobsessed@gmail.com, and we can definitely try to get together. JL Halls, yeah. Judy says she needs those race ramps. You know how to win them, Judy. The link at the pinned at the top there. Every $10 donated will get you entered. And these things are like $400. So if you only donate $10, you still have a chance to win a $400 item for $10. Plus, you could win an air intake, or an air filter. You have a C8 Corvette. The Attack Blue air filter is perfect for your car. Okay, so guys, again, send me your pictures of your cars to get it entered in right here. $10 donations get you entered for Attack Blue and race ramps. And on Saturday or Sunday, watch the community tab on Horsepower Obsessed. And I will ask the question again, what you guys want to talk about. Let me know what topics you would like to discuss. If we didn't get to your topic today, just send it again. And we will eventually make it through every topic you guys want to talk about. Mark says you guys need to make a poster out of that. Maybe we will. That's not a bad idea. Okay. Anyway, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up. So, like I said, make sure you get entered to win. This is one of the bigger giveaways we've done. Attack Blue air filters for C6, C7, or C8, and those race ramps. Everybody can use those. It doesn't even matter what kind of car you have. Race ramp can be used on whatever you got. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, we appreciate all the support tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you same time, same place next week. See ya.